welcome to the Beginner's Flow. My name is Fowler and I'm your Yoga Q coach today. And today we're going to be doing a nice kind of open level Beginner's Flow. So whether you have a lot of experience or not, you can definitely just check out what's going on in the front. I'll be doing the whole thing with you, and it'll be a short, quick 20-minute intro flow for all of you guys that want to start. You're not too familiar, but we'll see how it goes. So make sure you've got a mat. You don't need anything else, and I'll be doing it up front again. So if you need, you can just watch me. We're going to start today on hands and knees. So this is called tabletop. You're just going to find your wrists directly underneath your shoulders and your knees right underneath your hips. And then from there, just separate your knees just a touch wider. You can point your feet, and we're going to sit up and back for child's pose. So child's pose, you can just rest your forehead on the mat. You can let your arms relax as well. And then just try to soften your neck. And as you're in your child's pose, think of breathing into your lower back on your inhale. And when you exhale, just think of relaxing your seat towards your heels. And throughout this 20-minute flow there, breathing through your nose is going to keep things nice and calm and nice and cool, even if things start to heat up a little bit. So when you're ready, just take a full breath in and a full breath out. And we'll do one more like that. Deep breath in. Through the nose, deep breath out. And then begin to stretch the fingers ahead of you. Stretch your arms ahead of you. We're going to come to tabletop. So you're going to bring your shoulders again right over your wrists and your knees right under your hips. And we're going to start off with cat-cowing the spine. So you're going to tuck your toes under, and then on your inhale, arch your back. So let your ribs drop and then look all the way up. And when you exhale, round your spine, push the floor away, and tuck your chin under. Inhale, we'll arch the back. You're going to stretch your chest forward and look all the way up. Exhale, round your spine, push the floor away, and tuck under. I'll do it one more time. Inhale, just stretching the chest forward there. And exhale, rounding your spine. And then come to neutral on your inhale. We're going to stretch the right leg all the way up and back. And then exhale, you're going to bring your knee to your nose. Nice and simple. Inhale, stretch your leg up and back. Exhale, knee to your nose. We'll do one more. Inhale, up and back. And exhale, knee to nose. And then inhale, start to stretch your leg up and back again. And if you can, start to reach your left arm forward. And then think of pulling your belly in as you really keep the heel lifted. And we'll take just one more breath there. And then plant your hand, plant your knee down. And we'll switch, just nice and simple. Left leg sweeps up and back on your inhale. Exhale, you bring your knee to your nose. Again, inhale up and back 3 times. Exhale, knee to nose. Last one, inhale up and back. Exhale, knee to your nose. And then inhale, stretch your leg up and back. And to find balance, draw your belly in and reach your right arm forward. And we'll take just 3 breaths there. Trying to keep drawing your navel in. Gaze is steady on the ground ahead of you. One more breath. And then plant your hand and plant your knee down. Now from here, spread all the fingers nice and wide and make sure you're rooting all the knuckles down to your yoga mat. You're going to tuck your toes under, and then once you're ready, just press your hips all the way up and back for downward facing dog. So just for a moment there, you're going to walk yourself forward into a plank pose. So shoulders right over your wrists, and then just press back nice and easy for downward facing dog. If this is uncomfortable, you can walk your feet in a little bit. You want your feet hips distance apart. Your hands are shoulder distance apart. And again, all the 10 fingers are spreading nice and wide there. And then you can just shake out your head, yes or no. Relax your neck. And just take a full breath in there again through your nose. And a full breath out. And we'll do 2 more like that. Deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Last one, deep breath in. and deep exhale. And then just to get moving there, on your inhale, let's come forward to plank pose. You're gonna bring your shoulders right over your wrists. And then exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Again, inhale forward to plank. Exhale, push back, downward facing. And last time, inhale forward to plank pose. And exhale, downward facing dog. Let's reach the right leg all the way up on your inhale. And then as you exhale, you're gonna open your hip and bend the knee. Inhale, straighten your legs, square off your hips. And then exhale, bring your knee to your nose and step right in between your hands. You're gonna tap the back knee down there, point your back toes. And then once you're ready, just stay on your fingertips and start to stretch your chest forward there. So you're gonna kind of open up that whole front of your left hip, allowing your hips to lunge and finding almost a little back bend in your upper back. Take one more breath there. And then tuck your back toes, lift your back knee up, and just step in a touch. We're gonna spin the back heel down, straighten the front leg as much as you can, look forward on your inhale. And then exhale, just fold over the front leg. Now, if you're a little tighter on the underside of the leg, you can keep a nice deep bend in your front knee as much as you need. Otherwise, just starting to extend the leg, draw your right hip back and let your forehead relax down towards your knee or shin. We'll take one more breath there. And then rebend your front knee, slide your back foot back so you're in this lunge there. Plant your left hand down, and we're gonna reach the right arm up for a twist. You can gaze past your top thumb. As you inhale, think get taller. And as you exhale, turn your rib cage up. We'll take two more. Deep breath in. Back leg is nice and straight. Deep breath out. And then one more. Deep inhale. And exhale. And then plant your hand down. We'll step to plank pose on the inhale. And then lower all the way down to your belly on your exhale. You're gonna point your feet. We're gonna take 3 rounds of cobra. So squeeze your elbows back. And then inhale, curl up with your chest. Exhale, roll back down. Again, inhale, curl up, pushing into your hands. Exhale, rolling down. Last one, inhale, curling up. And exhale, roll down. Plant your hands down. You're just gonna push your seat back to your heels and find a child's pose like we started with. So you can separate your knees, let your forehead rest, and just take 2 deep breaths there. Good, one more long breath. And then we'll come to tabletop, shoulders over wrists on your inhale. Tuck your toes, again, downward facing dog on your exhale. Now this time, reach your left leg all the way up, deep breath in. And then exhale, you're gonna open your hip and bend the knee. Inhale, straighten your legs, square off your hips, and then exhale, bring your knee to your nose and step right in between your hands. From there, you're gonna tap your back knee down, point your back toes, and then just stay on your fingertips for a few breaths. So think of stretching your chest forward and letting all the weight kind of relax down into the front of the right hip. Again, remember breathing through the nose, especially if you're newer to this. That's one of the hardest things to kind of keep track of. Take one more breath there. And then tuck your back toes under, lift your back knee, and just step forward just about halfway. You're gonna spin your back heel down, look forward on your inhale and straighten the front leg, the left leg, and then exhale, fold over the front leg. And we'll take 3 deep breaths there. Again, if you're an athlete or you're a little bit tighter, it's just not normally what you do, keep a light bend in your knee. You'll be all right there. And then rebend your front knee, step your back foot back. You're gonna plant your right hand down for a twist and reach your left arm up. And we'll take 3 breaths there. So as you inhale, think lift your spine. Exhale, you're gonna turn your ribs up, twist deeper. Deep breath in. Exhale. One more deep inhale. And then inhale, plant your hands, step to plank. Exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. Now this time you're gonna point your feet, interlace your fingers behind your back, or just stretch your arms back, and we're gonna lift up the chest. 3 breaths. So start with the chest lifting, your knuckles reaching up and back, and if you feel strong enough, you can float your legs up as well. 2 more breaths. This is called locust pose. Take 1 more there, try to get a little bit higher. And exhale, lower down. Plant your hands, we'll push back to child's pose. So you're just gonna sit all the way up and back. Let your forehead rest on the mat and just take another 2 deep breaths there. Spread the fingers ahead of you. Come to tabletop again on your inhale, shoulders over wrists. And then downward facing dog on your exhale. We'll take 2 deep breaths here. Deep inhale. Now maybe you can start to stretch the legs a little bit straighter as you exhale. Take another full breath in. And deep breath out. And now bend your knees and just take a walk to the front of your mat. You're gonna land with your feet hips distance apart. You can put your 2 fists in between your feet to double check that. Bend your knees a little bit. Take a half lift on your inhale. So just think of looking forward, almost like a flat back. And then exhale, you're gonna fold over your legs, catch opposite elbows in front of the legs, and just drop your head. And you can rock side to side, back and forth. This is called ragdoll. So just envision that and completely allow your spine to relax. You could shake out your head, yes or no. You want your whole upper back of the neck and head to be relaxed and just soft. And then from here, let's just loosely interlace the fingers behind the back and stretch your knuckles all the way ahead of you. We'll take another full round of breath there. And then softly release your hands back down. Take another half lift on your inhale, look forward. And then exhale, fold back down there. Now bend your knees, tuck your chin, and inhale, you're gonna roll up to stand. Your head will be the last thing to come up. And then exhale, roll your shoulders down your back. Step your feet together to touch. So we're just gonna take some simple sun salutations for a warm up. So have your hands in prayer at your heart. Take a full breath in there and a full breath out. And then on your inhale, you're gonna circle the arms up, gaze up at your palms. As you exhale, dive down over your legs, bring your forehead to your shins. Inhale, look forward for a nice easy half lift, think flat back. Exhale, fold back down. Plant your hands, we're gonna step to plank pose on the inhale. Lower all the way down on your exhale, bend your elbows, keep them in towards your sides. And then point your feet, inhale, cobra. You're gonna curl up with your chest. Exhale, downward dog. You can tuck your toes, bend your knees, and push up and back. We'll take 3 breaths there. Deep inhale. Exhale. A deep breath in. Relax your head and your neck there. Deep breath out. 1 more. Long inhale. And deep breath out. Now bend your knees, look past your hands. You can walk or lightly jump to the front. Take a half lift on your inhale. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, circle your arms up. Come up to stand, gaze up. Exhale, bring your hands in prayer at your heart where we started. 1 more. Inhale, circle the arms up. Exhale, dive down over your legs, forehead to shins. Inhale, look forward, flat back. Exhale, fold back down. Step to plank pose on your inhale. Lower to the belly on your exhale. Cobra, inhale, curl up. And then downward facing dog, exhale, push up and back. Just take full breath there, deep inhale. And exhale, now bend your knees, look forward, step or jump. Take a half lift inhale. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, circle your arms up, gaze up at your palms. Exhale, bring your hands in prayer at your heart. Close your eyes and just take a full round of breath there. You probably feel a little bit of the circulation pumping. Just a good time to slow things down. So now we're gonna switch into the balancing. So shift the weight into your left foot, start to pick up your right knee with your hands. And if that's newer for you, keep your gaze steady on one point on the floor. So from there, you're gonna flex your foot, turn your knee out, and then bring the sole of the foot right onto your inner thigh. If that's a little too much, below your knee for tree pose. So once you get the sole of the foot to the inner thigh, bring your hands in prayer at your heart, and then find your gaze steadily at one point ahead of you. And we'll take a few breaths. And to get nice and tall, push your foot into your thigh the same way that you're gonna push the thigh back into your foot. And if this is simple enough, you can raise your arms. Maybe a smile. We'll take one more breath there. And then return your hands in prayer at your heart. Bring your knee parallel and release your foot down. And then we'll switch, so nice and simple. Shift the weight into your right foot. Pick up your left knee with your hands. Flex your foot. You're gonna turn the knee out, and then once you're ready, you're gonna bring the sole of the foot to your inner thigh and bring your hands back in prayer at your heart. And now think of pushing the foot into your thigh, pushing the inner thigh back into your foot, and lifting your chest, relaxing your shoulders. And then come back to your breath in and out of the nose. And if this feels quite simple, you can reach your arms up. We have 2 more breaths there. Gaze is steady, breath is long, inhales and exhales are even. Take 1 more round. And then return your hands in prayer at your heart. Inhale, turn your knee parallel, and then exhale, just place your foot back down. You can shake out your legs. Okay, from there, you're gonna have your feet together to touch. We'll take chair pose. So you're gonna bend your knees, sit really low, keep all the weight into your heels. And then take your hands in prayer at your heart. You're gonna take a deep breath in. And when you're ready, exhale, you're gonna hook your elbow outside of your thigh for a deep twist. You're gonna push the hands together and try to turn your ribs up. And then to get the full spine twisting there, think of slowly turning your gaze up past your top shoulder. Sit a little lower. We'll take 1 more breath. And then come back to chair, back to center. Inhale, hands in prayer, switch sides. Twist on over to your left this time. Same thing, trying to get the thumbs to meet the center of your chest. And then if you can, with balance, gaze up past your top shoulder. 1 more breath. Then back to chair pose, inhale. This time fold over your legs, exhale. And just stay here for a full breath, let your whole spine relax. And then plant your hands, and let's step back to a downward facing dog. Take a full breath in, and a full breath out. Now when you're ready, come forward to plank on your inhale. Lower all the way down to the belly on your exhale. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Zip your legs together. We'll take locust pose 1 more time. So when you're ready, you're gonna lift your chest, lift the legs, point your feet. 2 more breaths. You're looking steadily past the tip of your nose to the floor ahead of you. 1 more breath. And exhale, lower down. Plant your hands, child's pose, push up and back. Now roll up so you are sitting on your heels. Swing your legs around and stretch them straight ahead of you. Now flex your feet there, so really pull the feet back towards your face. Take an inhale, you're gonna reach your arms up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, you can fold over your legs, bring your forehead towards your shins, and just take 3 deep breaths. Now if this is really tight here under the legs, bend your knees. It's really helpful to get the belly on the thighs. And keep pulling the feet back. Use the grip of the hands against your feet to really pull you in a little deeper. Okay, inhale, roll up, bend your knees, Bring the soles of your feet together. Take your knees apart. So this is butterfly pose. Just hold on to your feet there. Take an inhale. And then once you're ready, you can fold over your legs. On your exhale, forehead towards your feet or wherever it lands. And again, just soft, deep breaths in and out of the nose. We'll take one more breath there. And then inhale to come on up. And then from there, you can just cross your ankles, find a comfortable seat. Bring your hands and pray at your heart, and then lift your chest and bow your head. And just thank yourself for trying something new, being open to taking time out of your day for a practice. And just take one final breath here on your mat. Deep inhale and exhale. Thanks for joining me. Namaste. So, now we're going to be doing a little Q&A section here. So I've got some questions from you guys online. So feel free, you can tweet me or you can hashtag me at AskCatFowler, and I'll be answering your questions on yoga or anything related to the practice just for the next few minutes. All right. Can I hold it? Okay, so here's some questions. @Balance09 asks, do you ever feel competitive with other teachers, either locally or nationally, for clients and social media following? Honestly, no. And I feel like that's an amazing question, just because it is really competitive. As much as it seems that it's all yoga related or fitness or, you know, namastes, it can be a little bit intense when it comes to getting a following or like connecting with all these people. But what I do find as a teacher is that there's so many people out there and everybody is so different, and you'll notice that what works for me will definitely work for a few people and maybe not for a whole lot of people. And so I think that there's plenty of people out there that will find a teacher that they really love, that resonates with them and the style that they truly, truly enjoy, and that there really is no need for this competition of who has the most or who can get, you know, the most followers or whatever it is, you know, because in yoga in particular, especially if you start practicing and you just take a bunch of different classes, you'll notice that they're so different. Styles are different, teachers are different, the energy is different, and you'll resonate with someone or you won't. And that's why I think there's no really major way to say that there's competition, because there's just so many different varieties out there, and to each their own. Great question, thank you. So @Adelness asks, any advice for beginner moms who wants to start practicing yoga, but they have a little one attached? So that's a really great question. I think the hardest thing, and I teach a lot privately one-on-one with some moms and that just had a baby within the first usually 2 years. That's when you're in the trenches. And I think the hardest part is just making the time to practice. So it doesn't have to be every day, and things always happen, but if you can dedicate at least 10 minutes to yourself, let's say in the mornings, 2 to 3 times a week, you'll feel like a totally different person. The hardest thing is just going to be putting yourself first, because ultimately you have a family to look after. But I think once you do set the time for yourself, and you either have someone come in or you say, I'm going to take a class online, or, you know, whatever it is, but you make that time and you tell your husband or anybody else around that that's their job for the moment, you'll notice that it will start adding up. Even if it's something as simple as 2 minutes a day in bed, making sure you meditate before you get out of bed, before the day starts. I think that can be really helpful. Thanks, that was a great question. So @Paivan asks, any recommendations for yogis with back pain? Yes, I think definitely number one, seek out an experienced teacher. If you're going to take group classes, just find somebody that specializes either in back care or a slower class where you can modify some of the postures. Number two, there's some really great postures that are great for back Back pain, it just depends where it's going on. Most of the time, I'd say 90% of people in America, it's always lower back pain. So I'd really highly recommend doing stuff actually to release your hips. So little postures like, I'll show you here, like lizard pose, just for a nice easy lunge there, or a pigeon where you bring your right knee behind your right wrist and you sit back. You'll notice that once you start doing postures to release your hips, that's usually where the source of tension comes into the lower back. Most of the time, everybody's different. But I highly recommend some just easy hip postures like lizard, pigeon, or this one, which is the most therapeutic, called yogi squat. So you're gonna have your hands in prayer. And this pose in particular, I know heals sciatica over time if you do it maybe 3-4 minutes a day. In the beginning, maybe start with 1 and then slowly add up, but it can eventually start to heal a lot of the lower back pain. There's plenty of good stuff there, so great question. Thanks for asking. At Benny Hart asks, what type of yoga class would you suggest to athletes who move but are pretty tight? Is there a type of yoga class you'd recommend? Definitely. If you're an athlete, I highly, highly recommend hot yoga. I think Bikram yoga is a pretty good place to start because it's mainly involving flexibility and it's so hot that you do have the ability to get a little deeper in postures as opposed to a regular class. Another great option for athletes that are really tight, and let's say you are training really heavily in your sport, you need some off time and not necessarily something too vigorous that's going to drain you, would be yin yoga. Yin yoga is where you hold some postures for maybe like 5-6 minutes in just one long posture, and you'll notice that after holding a pose for 2-3 minutes even, you'll have great gains in your flexibility. So I think for athletes in particular, CrossFitters, even weekend athletes, I think it's definitely a good option to try some hot yoga, Bikram yoga, or yin yoga so that you can really work on your flexibility and definitely help your training on the side. Thank you so much for all your questions. It's been a pleasure, and I hope to see you soon. Namaste.